100 feisty little ellipsoid UFOs defying fighter jet pilots and darting around a mysterious submerged mothership. The Nimitz encounters were one of the most intriguing and compelling UFO cases in modern history. The US Navy finally confirmed in 2019 that this bizarre occurrence did actually involve what they called unidentified aerial phenomena, also referred to as anomalous aerial vehicles or AAVs. Over the years, several veterans have come forward with new and intriguing details of what occurred around the US Navy's Strike Carrier Group 11 as it sailed in the Pacific Ocean about 100 miles off the Southern California coast in 2004. The USS Nimitz Carrier Strike Group, which included the nuclear-powered carrier and the missile cruiser USS Princeton, was conducting a series of drills prior to deployment in the Persian Gulf. In early November 2004, the group was assigned to a routine training exercise. Petty Officer 3rd Class Gary Vuris, while chatting with some of the Princeton's radar techs, was informed that they were getting so-called ghost tracks and clutter on the radars. As the Princeton's only system technician for the state-of-the-art technology on board, he found news of these systems possibly malfunctioning especially concerning. He arranged for the air control systems to be taken down and recalibrated in an attempt to clear out what he assumed to be false radar returns. However, once they had finished all the recalibration and brought all the radars back up, the tracks actually appeared sharper and clearer. According to Kevin Day, who was the Princeton's senior radar operator during that time, his screen showed well over 100 of the mystery craft over the course of the week. Watching them on the display was like observing snow fall from the sky, he related. According to what Day was witnessing, the craft detected appeared at an altitude greater than 80,000 feet, so much higher than commercial or military jets would normally fly. After the Princeton's radar team had determined that everything was operating without any problems, they began observing instances in which the craft would drop with astounding speed to lower, busier airspace. The objects indicated varied in altitude between 80,000 and 60,000 feet, sometimes even around 30,000 feet, and were travelling at 100 knots. Their radar images didn't match any known aircraft. They were completely unexplained. Around November 10th, strange radar tracks were noted of objects appearing in groups of 5 to 10 at a time, quite closely spaced to each other. They were at 28,000 feet altitude and travelling at 100 knots. On running up to the bridge with binoculars, Vuris observed the objects hovering, then suddenly in an instant darting off in another direction and abruptly stopping again. At night they gave off something like a phosphorus glow, so were easier to see than in daylight. After nearly a week of the anomalous radar images, Day approached the Princeton's commander requesting that action be taken. An intercept was ordered and a decision was made to scramble 2 fighter jets to investigate. When the planes first arrived on the scene, the pilots were unable to spot any flying objects. However, they did observe what the lead pilot, Commander David Fravor, later described as a disturbance in the ocean. The water beneath them was churning, with white waves breaking over what appeared to be a large object sitting just below the surface. It was then that they noticed one of the anomalous craft flying about 50 feet above the surface of the sea. Fravor says that as he flew around the UFO, it rose and advanced directly towards his plane. Then suddenly it did a kind of turn and rapidly accelerated, faster than anything he'd seen, crossed his nose and was gone. As the craft shot off into the distance, according to Day, other Navy jets began launching off the carrier in unsuccessful efforts to intercept any of the other mysterious objects the Princeton's radar was tracking. Their observations resulted in an unofficial report describing the objects as having an elongated egg or tic-tac shape with a midline horizontal axis of about 46 feet in length. To get an idea of this size, think almost as long as an 18-wheel semi-trailer truck. The report stated that the AAVs would descend very rapidly from around 60,000 feet down to 50 feet in just a few seconds, stay stationary for a short time, then depart at high velocities and turn rates. The never-before-seen objects were solid, white and smooth, and to the pilot's bewilderment, without any obvious means of propulsion, no wings or rotors. Frustratingly, they also seemed able to take seemingly effortless, evasive actions at attempts to be intercepted by the two jets dispatched for that purpose. Fravor described their swift and erratic movements to throwing a ping-pong ball against the wall. A rookie pilot at the time remembers being terrified at their unpredictability, involving what they later described as high G, rapid velocity, and rapid acceleration, leaving them wondering, how can we possibly fight this? The astonishing craft demonstrated what the official report detailed as an advanced acceleration, aerodynamic, and propulsion capability. A member of the ship's crew, interviewed later and requesting anonymity, stated that, from what the pilots described, the movement of the UFO was defying the laws of physics. This witness also commented that what really made the incident all the more alarming was when a Black Hawk helicopter landed on the ship and removed all the information from the top-secret rooms. He stated that the crew were all shocked by the Men in Black style measure, as it was an unspoken rule anyway not to talk about such unexplained occurrences. All crew had secrecy clearances and also didn't want to jeopardise their careers. It was not until December 2017 that the astonishing account and footage of the US Navy being harassed and outperformed by the UFO's seemingly impossible manoeuvres became known to the greater public. Another witness, former Petty Officer 3rd Class Jason Turner, described in a documentary that those tic-tac objects were, quote, going berserk, that the G-force from their right-angled turns and lightning manoeuvres would have been intolerable for a human pilot. Nick Cook, the former aviation editor for Jane's Defence Weekly, has commented that it's possible but not likely that the tic-tac was some kind of classified drone involved in a secret military test. However, he said that he researched the phenomenon for 10 years and never found any compelling evidence that that type of technology exists. His final word on the occurrence was, "I don't think it's ours." According to both high-ranking US intelligence officials and many pilots, the Nimitz incident was not an isolated event. Witnesses have reported more than a dozen similar occurrences off the East Coast, some as recent as 2015. Speculation has also swirled that the real mystery is the underwater object, perhaps a mothership, that the tic-tacs were gravitating around. Some have claimed to witness strange, large craft bursting from the water in that area, suggesting that a submerged UFO base may be located there. It has been questioned why more extensive investigation was not done into the whole incident, for example, excluding any human submarines that happened to be in the area around that time. The US Navy is now taking these phenomena more seriously and says that it is investigating each and every report. However, in 2021, US intelligence officials issued an assessment which found no evidence that aerial phenomena cited by Navy pilots were alien spacecraft. What was missing in their report was that it did not explain what may be behind these unusual phenomena.